Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. As part of the usual, I am Cobble S. Cobble. As you saw earlier, we are in the middle of unboxing the Lost Caverns of, I'm not even going to attempt it, Ixalan. And we left off with 4 packs remaining. And we have one card left to go with that box. So next up, we have the Aura Bards. 3-drop, 2 colorless, 1 red. Instant Arcane. Each enchantment deals 2 damage to its controller, then each enchantment enchanting a creature deals 2 damage to its creature's enchanting. That's a mouthful. So, each enchantment deals 2 damage to its controller. Then each enchantment enchanting a creature deals 2 damage to that creature as well. So, a little overcomplicated there, but that works. But I think that Belligerent Yearling is a little bit different. Oh, that was a Panicked Allosaur, so never mind. That was just a different art, alternate art. We got 4 packs left. Yeah. Another full art card. We got another Cavitating Cave. Next up, we have the Sage of Days. 3-drop, 3/2 human wizard, 2 colorless, 1 blue. Human wizard. When Sage of Days enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may put one of those cards back on the top of your library. Put the rest into your graveyard. Next up, we have Walk with the Ancestors. 5-drop, 4 colorless, 1 green. Return up to 1 target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Discover 4. And a refresher for discover cards: exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with converted mana value 4 or less. Cast it without paying its mana cost or put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. In random order. Next up is In the Presence of Ages. 3-drop, 2 colorless, 1 green, instant. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a creature card and or a land card from among them into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your graveyard. Or I should say, put the rest into your graveyard. Next up, we have the Diak Echo. 5-drop, 4 colorless, 1 blue. 3/2 Spirit Cleric. When the Diak Echo enters the battlefield, draw the card, descend 4. Dissect Echoes has flying as long as there are 4 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. Instead of Basking Rootwalla, we have the Basking Cabera. 2-drop, 1/3, 1 colorless, 1 green, Cabera. Capybara, sorry, my language sucks, we all know this. Descend 4, Basking Capara gets +3/+0 as long as there are 4 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. A Capybara. Next up, we have the Tendrils of the Mycotriant, or Tyrant. 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 green, 2/2. Fungus Wizard. 5 colorless, 2 green. Put 7 1/1 counters on target non-creature land you control. It becomes a 0/0 fungus creature with haste. It's still a land. Next up, we have the Explorer's Cache. 2-drop. Artifact, 1 colorless, 1 green. Explorer's Cache enters the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on it. Whenever a creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it dies, put a 1/1 counter on the Explorer's Cache. Tap, move a 1/1 counter from your Explorer's Cache onto the target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. Next up, we have the Monument Battle Glyph. 1 drop, 1 green. Sorcery. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If the creature you control enters the battlefield this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. Then those creatures fight each other. So we're going to bring in that fighting mechanic. Next up, alternate art of Akawai, the Seeing Tower, 3 drop, 1 colorless, 1 black, 1 green, 3/3 fungus, legendary fungus. Descend 4, as long as there are 4 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, he gets +2/+2 and has trample. Descend 8, as long as there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, it gets an additional +2/+2 and can't be blocked except by more than 1 creature. So, and essentially gets an additional +2/+2 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So essentially he just becomes a trampler of just days. Next up, for the rare of the packet, we have the Brass Tunnels Grinder. 3 drop, 2 colorless, 1 red. Legendary artifact. When Brassy's Thunder Glider Grinder enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards +1. At the beginning of your end step, if you descend this turn, put a boar counter on the grinder. Then if there are 3 or more boar counters on it, remove those counters and transform it. And it apparently transforms into the Tuscalooan, the Seeing Rift. Legendary Land Cave. And it's a tap red. Whenever you cast a permanent spell using mana produced by the Seeing Rift, discover X, where X is this spell's mana value. So that's pretty interesting for a rare. And then we have Captain Storm, Cosminium Raider. 2 drop, 2/2, 1 blue, 1 red, human pirate. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target pirate you control. And then we have a Merfolk token. Ah. Sorry, bumped the camera there. Interesting, so as long as we got 3 booster packs to go. Apparently they have finally and stun counters as well. Finally, that seems weird, but we'll find out eventually. It's probably some of the other mechanics in the game. Another full art. First up, we have a full art forest. Next up, we have the Brazen Blade Master, 3 drop, 2 colorless, 1 red for 2/3 Orc Pirate. Whenever Brazen Blade Master attacks while you control 2 or more artifacts, it gets +2/+1 until end of turn. Next up, the Tectonic Hazard, 1 drop, sorcery, 1 red. Tectonic Hazard deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. God, put that on a stick and just have a fucking field day with that thing. Goblin Tomb Raider, of course. 1 drop, 1/2, red. Goblin Pirate. As long as you control an artifact, Goblin Tomb Raider gets +1/+0 and has haste. Next up, we have the Plundering Pirates, 3 drop. Plundering Pirate, 3 drop, 2 colorless, 1 red, 3/2, Orc Pirate. When Plundering Pirate enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Next up, we have Buried Treasure, 2 drop artifact treasure. Sack buried treasure, add 1 mana of any color. 5, exile buried treasure from your graveyard, discover 5. Activate only as a sorcery. Next up, we have Eaten by Piranhas. 2-drop, 2-drop. It's an enchant aura. 1 colorless, 1 blue. Flash, enchant creature. Enchant creature loses all abilities and is a black skeleton creature with base power and toughness of 1/1. That's interesting. Is that buried treasure common? Yeah. So even piranhas now. Next up, we have the Forgotten Monument. Another cave, tap, add a charge counter. Other caves you control have tap, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color. Next up, we have Vanguard of the Rose, 2-drop, Vampire Knight, 3/1, a white vampire, interesting. 1 colorless, 1 white, 3/1, Vampire Knight. Pay 1 colorless, sack another creature or artifact. Vanguard of the Rose gains indestructible until end of turn, and tap it. Oh, I see how it crept now. It's an Idol of the Deep King. 3-drop artifact. 2 colorless, 1 red, artifact flash. When Idol of the Deep King enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. Craft with an artifact for a cost of 2 colorless and red. When you craft it, it becomes an artifact equipment. The Sovereign's Makuhatali. I'm not even going to fucking try it. Artifact equipment. When it enters the battlefield, attach it to a creature you control. Creature gets +2/+0 with an equip cost of 2. So yeah, so it says craft to an artifact. That's another one. So next up we have Amila Bavade's Agari. 2-drop, 2/2, legendary creature, vampire scout, 1 white, 1 black. Ward, pay 3 life. When you gain life, Amila Bavade's acquires explores. Then destroy all other creatures. Wait, what? Explores. Then destroy all other creatures if its power is exactly 20. So to have this creature explore, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand if it is a land. Otherwise, put a 1 counter on this creature, then put that card back or put it into your graveyard. So from what it sounds like, essentially when you gain life, you explore, reveal a top card of your library, either put it into your hand or put it into your graveyard. So you do that 20 times, it gets exactly 20, destroy all other creatures. That's interesting. And we got another Cod Work Wrestler. We got 2 left. If you're enjoying all these little things we're doing, please give us a like. And if you're enjoying the content, please subscribe to see what other options we have available for you. Full art of the doggo. First up, we have a hidden cataphract. Land, cave, hidden cataphract enters the battlefield tapped, add a blue. Pay 4 colorless, 1 blue, sack hidden cataphract, discover 4. Activate only as a sorcery. Discover 4 is exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with mana value 4 or less. All of the caves. Screaming Phantasm we've already seen. Another Chance we've already seen. Join the Dead we've already seen. We have Fungal Fortitude, 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 black, enchantment aura. Flash, enchant creature gets +2/+0. Whenever an enchanted creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Next up, we have a Mineshaft Spider, 4-drop, 3/4, Spider, 3 colorless, 1 blue. Reach. When Mineshaft Spider enters the battlefield, you may mill 2 cards. Green mill. That's interesting concept. Because usually mill is either black or white, but now they're branching out to the different color coordinations, so that could be very brutal, depending on the styles that people want to go with. Next up is Hurl into History. 5-drop, 3 colorless, 2 blue. Instant, counter target artifact or creature spell, discover X, where X is that spell's mana value. Exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card, and cast it without paying its mana that value. Cast it without paying its mana cost, or put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your in a random order. So what was that? Spider? Yeah, it was common. So a lot of discovery and a bunch of other stuff. Next up, we have a Confounding Riddle. 3-drop, instant, 2 colorless, 1 blue, instant. Choose one. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 4. Next up, we have Eaten by Piranhas again. Next up, we have the alternate art of the Ramping Ceratops. 5-drop, 5/4, 4 colorless, 1 red. Ramping creature can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. Then we have our rare is a dual land. Restless Reef. Land. Restless Reef enters the battlefield tapped. Add blue or black. Tap 2 colorless, 1 blue, 1 black. Until end of turn, Restless Reef becomes a 4/4 blue and black shark creature with Death Touch. It's still a land. Whenever Restless Reef attacks, target player mills 4 cards. A land that becomes a creature that makes you mill. That's interesting. Another one, we have another Master's Guide mural. We've already seen that one. And this time around, we got a gnome token. So we got more freaking gnomes. And so we're on our last pack for the day. Another full art card. First up is the Promising Vein. Land, cave, tap for a charge counter, pay 1 colorless, tap sacrificing the vein, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield and tap, then shuffle. We've already covered the Fungal Fortitude. We've already covered the Mineshaft Spider. Next up, we have the Child of the Volcano. 4-drop, 3 colorless, 1 red, 3/3 elemental, trample. Beginning of your end step, if you descend this turn, put a 1/1 counter on Child of the Volcano. You descend if a permanent card was put into your graveyard from anywhere. Next up, Quicksand Whirlpool, 5-drop, 5 colorless, 1 white, instant. This spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a tapped creature. Exile target creature. Damn. Expensive removal. Next up, we have the Splurking. Just Splurking. It's a 3-drop, 2 colorless, 1 green enchantment. When Splurking enters the battlefield, draw the card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you put a cave onto the battlefield this way, you gain 4 life. Lands you control enter the battlefield untapped. Next up we have Ixalan's Lorekeeper. 1 drop, 1/1, 1 green, human druid. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a dinosaur spell or activate an ability of a dinosaur source. Next up is the Calmitoris Caven. 4 drop, 3 colorless, 1 red, sorcery. Catalmus Caven deals X damage to each creature and each planeswalker, where X is the number of caves you control plus the number of cave cards in your graveyard. Ouch. Just ouch. Next up we have the Sahin's Lattice. 2 drop, 1 colorless, 1 red. Artifact. When the lattice enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. Craft with 1 or more dinosaurs for 6. 4 colorless, 1 red. Exile this artifact. Exile 1 or more dinosaur cards you control to craft it into an artifact. And the creature that gets created is the Mastercraft Raptor. Artifact creature dinosaur. Its Mastercraft Raptor's power is equal to the total power of its exiled cards used to craft it. So, interesting. Is that rare or mythic? Not sure if this is a mythic or a rare, but or it could be just a mythic or a rare. But regardless, this is Hatui, Poet of Unity, 3 drop, 2 colorless, 1 green, legendary creature, human warrior bard. When the Poet of Unity enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. 3 colorless, red or white, exile Hato, then return her to the battlefield, transform under her owner's control, activate only as a sorcery. And she activates into the Roar of the Fifth People. This is a saga. Saga enters, and after your draw step, add a lore counter to sacrifice after 4. To add a lore counter. Sacrifice after 4. Level 1, create 2 3/3 green dinosaur creature tokens. Level 2, Roar of the Fifth People gains creatures you control have tap, add red, green, or white. Tier 3, search your library for a dinosaur card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Then Tier 4, dinosaurs you control gain double strike and trample until end of turn. So, interesting. I want to say it's mythic, but I can't tell because we got a double rare in this one. And that one was kind of a different color than this rare. And this rare is the Unstable Glyph Bridge. 5 drop, 3 colorless, 2 white. Unstable Glyph Bridge enters the battlefield. If you cast it for each player, choose a creature with power 2 or less that player controls. Destroy all other creatures except creatures you chose this way. Craft with an artifact. For 3 colorless, 2 white, exile this artifact, exile another artifact you control, or an artifact card from your graveyard. Return this card transformed under its owner's control. Craft only as a sorcery. And you're going to craft it into a Sand Swirl Wander Glyph 5/4 gnome golem artifact creature. Flying. Whenever an opponent casts a spell during this turn, they can't attack you or a planeswalker you control this turn. Each opponent who attacked you or a planeswalker you control this turn can't cast spells. Next up we have the Frilled Cave Worm. 4 drop, 3 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue. 2/5, Salamander Worm. Descend 4. Frilled Caveworm gets +2/+0 as long as there are 4 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. And the last one is Copy. This token can be used to represent a copy of something else. So they have copy stuff. So. But yeah, that's all she wrote for the last Lost Caverns. And let's finish popping all this extra stuff up there. So we got couple minutes left. I don't know why they gave all this clicky stuff. But we'll just pop it all out. But I guess that's from the art series. That's just another art card, but in cardboard form. We have all these tokens, which could make sense, don't make sense, but who knows. Like, they're adding stuff that really not needed, per se. Looks like it's more of an Aztec and Mayans themed from the arts and so on and so forth. So I guess these are set dividers, maybe, or your deck separators if you have more together or something like that. So, and I still have no idea what these masky looking thing tokens are. We'll find out as we explore the lore, because it could just be there to be there. So, I'm not sure. There's a reason for them. But that's probably going to wrap it up. I thank you all for coming out to the channel. And until next time, this is Cobble saying, have a good night, and we shall see you in the, if I can get these last two flipped over. Oh, for fuck's sake. See you in the next one.